Throughout the first 18 months of our tiny house project, we'd hit a number of milestone moments, like buying our own plot of land in the far north of Scotland, finding an amazing team to build our dream home, and actually getting planning permission for it. But come late 2024, our tiny house was still just a drawing on a bit of paper. And it was time to find out exactly how much it was going to cost to turn it into reality. We're Kim and Del, by the way. Welcome to Hogs in the Paddock.
It is the 8th of November 2024, and we just got our final quote through from Echo Living for the tiny house. It's been about a year and a half since we had our kind of rough initial estimate of how much it was going to be, which was based on one of the other projects that they were building at the time that we went down to see down at the workshop in Dumfries, which was a fairly similar size and kind of similar materials to what we've ended up planning around. Yeah, a little bit nervous, hoping that this amount that we are about to see is not too dissimilar to the figure that we've had in our heads, basically, for the last year and a half. So, start with the quotation. Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you skip to the bottom and look at a figure? I start at the top and keep it as a surprise. Do you jump straight to the figure?
Well, I don't have...
The other day my eyes went straight to the figure for the groundworks, but with this I'm trying to read through it.
Well, I don't have any experience of doing this, so what I do or don't do is irrelevant.
Well, right now, have your eyes already jumped to a figure?
I haven't seen a figure, no.
Okay.
Where is the figure?
Well, it's clearly not on there then. Don't look too close.
No, it's not there. I've already looked and it's not there.
It's because I've not scrolled yet.
Well, let's scroll down and see.
No. I don't want to look at the figure. I want to read through what it is. I don't want to.
But it's just specifications about...
Yeah. Okay, the provisional purchase price quoted below is for the paddock. Okay, cabin structure. Floor. Spruce, 3-ply to top and undersides, 200mm of sheep wool insulation, origin inline 3-panel slider, origin entrance door with double glazed panel.
Can we just look at the price?
No.
I mean,
no.
We're just basically going through all the details that we already know.
No. How do we know all this? This isn't what we know. I want to know what this price is actually covering.
I've already lost interest, so...
For goodness sake. For example, on the specification that I saw for the other one that we looked at, that price didn't include all the doors and windows, whereas clearly this does. Interior fixtures, fittings and finishes. Basin and tap. Oh well, see, I've got a very specific basin that I want. So some of the stuff they've mentioned there, we've obviously got ideas about what tiles we want, what sink we want. Rainhead shower, I also want a handheld shower, not just the rainhead. A Bosch Series 4. Okay, so they're actually quoting this already with hob. 180 litre Gled Hill hot water closet supplied and plumbed. Building wired back to distribution board and backboard, ready for installation of meter. Oh.
Price is a little bit higher than she was expecting.
Yeah.
I am not surprised, on the other hand.
This is about 10 to 20,000 more than I was thinking. But what are you going to do at this stage? You're committed, and we've been...
Actually, you're not committed. You're not committed. You could make a decision to do something completely different. Not that I'm suggesting that we do, but
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
I had been hoping the house quote was going to be around £100,000 to £110,000, based on the ballpark figure Echo gave us when we first inquired. But the initial quote came in at about £121,000. So it took a minute for us to get our heads around that. As Del says, technically we weren't committed to anything. But in reality, we were emotionally committed to seeing our dream tiny house build through with Echo, who had been fantastic to work with so far. And we were already financially invested in the project as a whole, having bought our plot of land and paid for design drawings and our planning application. So pivoting to some completely different plan was never a consideration for us. We wanted to look in detail at exactly what the quote included, so we went through the specification with a fine-toothed comb and drew up a list of questions for Sam and Maggie. Mostly about materials and examples of fixtures and fittings included, which we wanted to make sure were to our taste. We also had a bunch of ideas and requests we wanted to run by them, so we had a lengthy chat over the phone and arranged to visit the workshop the following week to check out sample materials and walk through the 3D house designs. We are on our way to Dumfries. Today is a pretty big day in the evolution of this tiny house adventure of ours. We are going to visit Sam and Maggie at the Eco Living workshop to check over materials, look at sample materials, and also to see sort of 3D drawings of the house. We've only seen drawings in 2D so far, and we've got a pretty good idea of what that's going to look like in real life, the layout and things like that. But certain places like the bathroom and the lobby area are quite hard to kind of get our heads around what exactly that space is going to look like when we're standing inside it. So 3D drawings are going to be really, really helpful to help us visualise that and decide on materials and things before we kind of sign off on, I guess, the final contract and they start ordering materials. So it's been about a year and a half since we've been down here. We came last summer when we were first looking into who we could get to do this build for us, and we came and saw a cabin that they were just finishing up at the time, which is a pretty similar size and materials to what we've ended up going with. So that was really helpful, and I think they've got something they're working on at the moment in the workshop. So even just things like seeing the toilet and the taps and the sort of fixtures and fittings that they generally use in real life is going to be really helpful for us to decide what goes with what. We've got our lovely tile samples with us, so we can see what they look like with the wood and whatnot.
Only the tile samples that made the cut.
Was that a tile joke?
Kind of, yeah.
First of all, we took a look around Eco's latest build project, before checking out examples of materials that would be used in our house, such as glazing with integrated blinds, engineered hardwood flooring, and a material called Hymax for our kitchen worktops.
Yeah, I think there are so many materials that you can use, and it's, one's getting the form right, and then the other's getting the texture and the colour and everything else to work.
And I guess it's depending on what the worktops are as well,
Yeah.
colour-wise.
I do like this stuff because it is bulletproof. You can, although you wouldn't put a hot pan down on it, unlike a timber top or anything else, or stainless steel that marks really. This is so easy. It's good stuff, I think.
Yeah, I do like the idea of it being hard weaving for sure.
Yeah.
As long as it still looks the part,
Yeah. Well, that is the principle. If this was a working window.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Yeah. Kim was saying you get a choice in the colours of the blinds.
Yeah, so we've got samples of those. We found that it's silver, and in the little sample it doesn't look great, but actually it's the one that shows the least when it's, it looks more like sky than anything else. So if you get a colour or anything that's got an obvious colour, then it's colour you read. And the silver doesn't look that bad when it's down, it looks kind of glassy. It's not, It doesn't feel too techy, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the colour you usually.
Yeah, sorry, that was a lousy demonstration.
That's all right.
We don't have to use the same in the bathroom.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it comes as a sheet.
So it's more economical.
This stuff you buy is a 3 metre by. It's kind of designed for kitchen.
Yeah.
But there would always be a little bit left over that we could use somewhere else. Otherwise, you're buying 2-3 metre sheets or something.
They have so many shades of white.
They're ridiculous.
So this kind of stuff, do you need to order that? Is that part of the materials that you need to be ordering sooner rather than later?
Really,
or we can decide on this
The only one that
later?
is really important is the big sheets
Yeah.
that we need to know that we're going ahead.
Yeah.
And then we're ordering, we'll bring 50 sheets in
Yeah.
from
And
Italy.
that, there's no decisions to make there. It's just that's it.
This is pretty much Hymax anyway. There are other ones, but Hymax is pretty much off the shelf.
I think if it's this stuff, the plain looks better than
I agree.
this stuff.
Yeah. I
This
think
is making
also
me
if
think
you're
about
trying
70s
to,
kitchens.
yeah, I think that's right. And if you're trying to, you will have a joint at some point. The glue that you use is the same material. It's the same
Yeah.
resin, so it's near seamless, if not seamless.
Yeah.
Now for the bit we were most looking forward to. Diving into the 3D design drawings of our tiny house and talking through a variety of ideas, big and small.
This is way better than the cardboard box model I made out of cereal packets.
Oh, well. So if I do,
It's a lot quicker as well.
well, it took a little while to get to this. This one just
For us,
I
for us.
knocked up this one. I've taken the shelf across that
Yeah.
bit. I don't know whether it has to be, and I've also taken the ceiling and the storage area across that bit.
Yeah.
So the corridor has a lowered ceiling
Yep.
between the two, but
Gives
it
us
which
extra
makes-
storage up top.
gives you extra storage, but it also means when you've got the sliding door between, so the sliding door to the bedroom is tucked in this.
Yeah. It means that
So it
everything's
just means it
closed
closes it off.
And we'd be able to get a bit of storage in the mezzanine office area?
Yeah.
To the
So
left
on
of
the
the
yeah. So
desk or something?
so you've got about that much. So you could have
Yeah,
tuck under there, and I think it's probably something that you would
yeah. Like a
put
box
in
maybe.
afterwards once you know what you need, rather than if we build something in now, there's a danger that it ends up being the wrong thing in the wrong place.
So this little slot bedroom window, is that actually like, I didn't realise it went all the way to the side wall bit like that. That looks great.
Yeah, so the
Almost
idea
like
is
it's cut out.
Yeah, so it's
That's cool.
and it's at. I mean, depending on how high the bed is, but the idea is you would lie in
Yeah.
bed and it would be level with
So
you.
we're looking at the various options of these water tanks, and there was one that was you could use electricity with, but also one of these thermal solar panels.
Yeah. So what we'd specified originally was there's the Glen Hill something with solar. Ideally, whether you fit the solar now or not, if you've got a tank that is future-proof, then you can. And that would be solar thermal, not solar
Yeah.
PV. So
Yeah.
it's basic, and that would be something you could put on the building.
Yeah.
You know, and particularly if it's the evacuated tube ones, they're quite nice because they fit really well within
Yeah.
the corrugator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can we see the bathroom again? Because I'm still struggling to just figure exactly what that looks like.
So that's your little kick
Yeah.
bit. So that there represents the floor of your mezzanine.
Yeah.
And then that's where your desk is,
Yeah.
coming over here.
Yeah.
And then this is under your desk. Mm-hmm. So you've got full height above the sink. Below the sink, that can all be storage. So a little bit like the
Yeah.
sink in there, you could have that as a cupboard, or you
Yeah.
could have it as however you want to do it. But
Yeah.
so you've got space under there. Behind the toilet is the cistern. So the cistern comes up to that sort of height. It fills. Let's get back to that big white frame. So, and then behind it is the cistern. So the space above that is also available for cupboard
Could either be cupboard or you could have shelving
or
nooks.
shelving. So it could be open or it could be closed.
So you could be at the sink, and to your left you could have open
Yeah.
shelving.
Or you could
Or you could have
continue
cupboards.
this all the way over the top of the,
Yeah. Okay.
so that basically is doing that.
Yeah.
And that's all one surface.
And so the cistern would sit below the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
countertops. How big can our couch be? What's this width? And
So if
also
we're
across
looking-
for sofa bed.
I mean, if we're saying something like that, so the space you got is 1993. Is that kind of, I don't know, it's an important year, I'm not sure what happened in 1993.
What could we get away with? Especially if the stove was raised off the ground, so that assuming the stove wasn't hot and a fire danger, could this tuck under the stove? If it was like, say, 2.4 litres?
I don't think it would be 2.4. It's a scary one if somebody kicks a duvet and it's still
Okay.
lit.
Yeah.
1500, something like that. I think you want to find a sofa bed that opens that way,
Yeah.
so that you're, rather than opening,
Yeah. I have been looking at all sorts of options.
so you're
and
sleeping that way rather
Yeah.
than that way. And that
Yeah.
leaves enough space there to
Yeah.
not be dodgy.
Trying to find
Against-
the dream sofa, which is also a decent sofa bed, is quite tricky.
Oh, I mean,
Unless you're spending £3,000.
exactly.
But even then, my dream sofa was like 2.4 this way, and I was like, oh, I don't think that's going to work.
So
I have a feeling they're going to
previously-
talk to us about a position move of the sink and the hob.
Well, so we did two things. So this compartment here was the full height pull out. If it's to be full height, it obviously cuts into the workspace. You can get away with 50 mil at that point, but it's about kind of space to work around and how much you
handles,
want.
this, that, yeah.
When we put that in, it gets really tight.
Yeah,
If it was just at worktop height
yeah,
as a pull out, fine. But I think, it is a useful thing, and you will get a lot of storage in that.
yeah.
So what we were wondering is whether we swap it over and we put the sink there. You're still in the same position of having slightly less space. But if the sink was at that point, and you now have the hob and the oven on that side.
And then all the draining dishes would just sort of be hidden in that corner.
Yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
pretty
in front
much.
of the
Yeah,
window.
yeah.
What do you think?
You can turn the sink round.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we
That's the
figured the
answer.
toaster and the kettle and stuff would go there, but yeah, maybe we need to think on that. I do think that the full height pull-out pantry would be very useful. Maybe this is the solution to put the sink there and then still get the pull-out pantry full height. I mean, I don't think we can go wrong with too much storage.
You can't have
though.
too much storage.
Um,
No.
Yeah, I think my brain needs time to get used to the idea of the hob and the oven being on that side. Again, there would then be more usable space either side of the hob for prep and cooking,
Yeah.
so it might be better there.
Yeah.
Um,
So the washing machine,
It's less deep, same 600.
Yeah, it's the same. So
Force
it's just less deep,
weight.
so you get less in it.
yeah, I mean, it's not a problem with the 7 kilogram, and that looked like a good machine, but it was only an energy D rating.
Yeah.
So I was
There
thinking
might be
about
alternatives.
looking at other options, but they took up a bit more space.
I mean, it can. You would start to encroach into here, but it's feasible.
but as it stands with this, we've got more kitchen storage space because it's not encroaching. So we're coming in here and yeah, you can't really be putting shoes and stuff there if that's where the washing machine
Yeah, so that's the downside of the washing machine
Yeah.
being there. It's possible. So the dishwasher, the washing machine doesn't have to be on the ground. Maybe it makes more sense if it's the opposite way around. You could then make a space below that with shoes and boots and things that you fling underneath it. And that might make sense.
That sounds good because if it's stored on this side, it's your walkway. That sounds quite nice to be able to just
Yeah.
kick them
So if
in
we
there.
did that, we built a little shelf that this sits on.
It's quite because there's so many bits of tuck in over the top of other bits. It's really hard to get your head
Yeah.
around it unless you see it as a
Yeah.
kind of, it's not quite it in reality, but it's at least you get an understanding of the volumes to some extent.
We left Echo with a much better understanding of the interior layout and available space for the bathroom, mezzanine office and storage areas. And we were happy with the amended layout of the kitchen. Our sofa bed discussions had flagged up a need to extend the space along the northern wall by 7 centimetres to accommodate a 200 centimetre wide sofa, and we could now continue our hunt for the ideal sofa bed. We'd also made decisions on our hardwood flooring and had material samples to take away of the spruce that would make up our walls and ceiling and the birch plywood that would be used for our cabinetry, along with colour samples of our kitchen worktop and integrated blinds, to compare with all of our tile and fabric samples and so come up with a harmonious colour palette throughout.
We have just had samples coming out of our ears this week. This one is a little ridiculous in size, but I wanted to get a full-size tile sample of what we might use for the bathroom floor because a tiny little square doesn't really give you a proper impression of what it's going to be like. So, this is really heavy. 60 centimetres by 60 centimetres. You're getting the first view here, how is it?
Yeah, looks pretty good, I would say.
It said it comes in like 16 different pattern tiles, so presumably they all have slight differences. Yeah, I like that. The main thing we wanted to know is that overall it's got more of a black look than any kind of grey. And I think that looks black, right?
Looks grey-ish from where I'm sitting, but I mean, it's the blackest out of all the ones that we've seen.
Yeah, I think that looks good. Maybe we need to test it by throwing some water on it and seeing if we slip around, because this would get used in the shower. I think it feels pretty grippy, but maybe we should trial that. Cool. Okay, we've also had a whole ton of fabric samples delivered, and I'm very glad that Sam and Maggie gave us this little sample of what the walls are going to be like, because then we can actually compare all the fabrics with that. So let me see. Oh, actually these are some new ones. I actually don't want that colour at all. It was just that there's the option of buying the couch cheaper from John Lewis in that colour and then buying a different cover from another company. I just thought I'd see what it was like. But yeah, no, I don't want that colour. Here are the colours that we are interested in. I don't know why they feel the need to give you a colour sample that is the size of a postage stamp. Like, how are you meant to...
It's cheap.
How are you meant to tell from that whether you're going to enjoy an entire couch in that? So this is one of the sofas that we're thinking about. It will fit exactly in the space. In fact, Sam's changing the size of the space so that we can fit a 2 metre wide sofa in. And have a little feel. Ooh, velvety, boucle. Those are all no's. I have been angling for a mustard coloured couch for quite a while, and Dill was very anti-mustard. We could agree on a green colour, but having got the samples, we're actually both pretty keen on the mustard. Or Elegance Burnt Curry, as I think this one's called. John Lewis have got some fantastic samples, but in reality, I'm not sure that we actually want a John Lewis couch, because they seem to get some pretty bad reviews.
Fantastic samples, as in they're large.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of swatch sample I appreciate, but I also just mean the actual fabrics are nice. You could see the kind of colour palette we're going for here. The Futon Company was another one that we got. Theirs are a bit cheaper. They look quite nice. I don't know that we're that keen on having a futon, and having got their samples, we don't really like many of their colours either. And if you don't like the colours, then that kind of screws with the whole plan of getting one of their perfectly proportioned sofa beds, doesn't it? So this is what we're working with from the Futon Company. Don't like, too dark, too bright, too many weird colours going on there. This one's, again, the top choice, but still, I don't think it's right. I'll show you what we're kind of working with so far. Maybe this colour for a couch. Let me get the tiles. So this is going to be for the bathroom. That's the smaller version of that massive tile that we just got delivered. That's probably going to be for the floor. This is what we're thinking for the kitchen splashback. As you can see, there's a lot of greens going on. And oh, that's what we're thinking for the Velux blinds. I think that's working quite nicely together. Maybe a couch in this colour. We might even get both of these if the couch that we're looking at ends up being the one that we go with, where you can do detachable covers. So there we go. It's coming together.
While we made decisions on our shower, taps, sinks, wood-burning stove, blinds and so on, Sam and Maggie worked on a revised quote including our chosen fixtures and fittings and custom items like our ottoman bed, bedroom drawers and breakfast bar.
It is the 3rd of December and we just got through the revised quote from Echo Living on email last night, but it was like 9 o'clock at night. We were like, no, that's a bad idea to look at that before bed. We'll wait till the morning. So it's been, I guess, a couple of weeks since we had the last quote and we went down to visit them, and then we were just sort of discussing things like windows and where we might want extra integrated blinds. So they had to get quotes for that and stuff like that. So there's just been a few bits and bobs that we've been going back and forth with for the last couple of weeks. So now we're about to see the revised quote. We were talking about this yesterday. We think that it will be a little bit higher than the original one, but hopefully not too much more, because there was like one or two things that came out, but there was also like more
things that we added in.
Yeah, more expensive, hopefully brushed brass shower sets and things like that instead of the bog standard stuff. So yeah, we have expensive taste, I would think. Okay, let's have a look. Revised quotation along with the contracts, which we've not officially signed yet. That'll be the next thing.
Okay, can we have a look at the actual documents, please?
Okay, bedroom, 5-drawer unit, ottoman bed.
Well, I wasn't thinking that the bed would be included in this.
Yeah, I think she just said that at the top, that she's put in provisional costs for the things like the breakfast bar, the ottoman bed, the kind of storage units in the bedroom that they were going to build. Because originally they thought that would just be like an opening cupboard, but we want drawers. So you can store all your wee socks and your pants still.
Let's move this along.
They've got the tiles that we want. Good.
Just get on with it. Really? There's
Fine.
got work to do.
Fine. Ooh, okay.
Right, okay.
Okay, so that's about 6,000 more than the other day. And yesterday we were like, oh, maybe it'll be a couple of grand more.
Well,
but to be fair, yesterday we weren't talking about the cost of
I didn't think about the bed or anything.
the bed and things like that being included. And they've now included like the provisional cost of an oven. They've been quite specific here. Wiring for 2 pendant lights over breakfast bar, 4 recessed downlights to shelves. Yeah, sort of.
Actually, a lot more specific than
Yeah.
the original one was.
Because we've given them more ideas about the things that we wanted as well.
So the price has probably just come in at what's actually more realistic than...
They've also included things like those beautiful swan neck brass marine lights that I said. That was like 200 quid just for that.
Okay, so you're going to get back to them and say that's all good.
No way, man! I need to look through this in excruciating detail and.
You do that. I'm going to carry on with the job that I'm on. All right.
All right.
Hello.
Hi Sam, it's Kim and Del. How are you?
I'm good. Yep.
Good. We got the quote. Everything is looking good. So we just had a couple of questions about timeframes and stuff. So I noticed that Maggie said that some of the materials are due to be delivered next week, which is exciting.
We bought all the the big sheets and the room beams and the joists and stuff like that. So that's all coming next week. We've got one more install to do. The building that was in, we're going to do that the following week. So I think realistically we'll be starting work first week in January.
Perfect. We just spoke to Kevin about the groundworks, so we'll try and go up and visit him in the next couple of weeks as well, and we'll walk through stuff. He does know the farmer who owns the field behind, so he's going to speak to the farmer.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, very handy.
It's really handy having someone like him.
Yeah. Definitely. So he'll speak to the farmer and see what's what there. And
he said tonight he would apply for the road opening permit, so he can do that as well.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Kevin will also know, like electricians, like plumbers, like people who are useful for final connections and anything that you need.
Yeah, for sure.
The building in.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be good. Perfect. We'll send that over to you today, the contract.
Okay. Many thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
And that.
I don't know why I'm so excited to drop a few £1,000 right now.
A few thousand.
Okay, dokes.
Should I get that organised?
Exciting. Yeah, I'll figure out how to do a digital signature.
Cool.
Okay.
The final quote came in at £127,000, which would be subject to any revisions we might make throughout the build. Subscribe to the channel to continue following our tiny house journey, and we'll see you next time for a winter visit to the paddock to talk groundworks with Kevin and the start of our build. Cheerio!